So now I'm going to ask them the interesting part that you would like to know regarding the jobs. Isn't that you are interested to know? Right. So I would like to ask the panel, I mean, the question that I would like to pose to them is that how is the trend of hiring now after this adoption of AI, right? And also, do you see the freshers hiring in your respective organization? Is it being, I mean, is there a delta? Like, is it coming down, increasing? And if at all, if it is increasing or decreasing, do you see a shift in totally that is expected? So, three questions majorly. One is, how is the impact of AI on specifically on hiring? Whether it is trend is deviating, and how the fresher hiring is specifically has an impact. That is where I'm sure you all will be interested in. And the final one is, I mean, how the refinement in job roles happen based on the adoption of AI. So over to you to start maybe.
This requires some political maneuverability to answer. The trend across industries today, or particularly when I speak in the IT industry, is that this year, fresher hiring has not been in that good numbers compared to last 2 years. It is very evident. Fresher hirings from basically from engineering colleges almost came to a halt somewhere around October, November, whereas normally it should have continued till about Jan. This has nothing to do with AI at the moment, broadly. It has something to do with the excessive hiring that we did in the previous years, particularly post-COVID. That is the main reason we find as a lull in hiring this year. And I wouldn't, from an industry perspective, say that AI is going to immediately affect hiring from colleges, at least in the next 2 years. It is definitely going to affect the numbers of lateral hiring in industries in the coming years. Outside IT industry, where we discuss with friends, from outside the IT industry, we have not seen a substantial decrease in numbers from colleges. There too, the lateral hiring has slightly come down, and it will continue to be controlled in the coming years. This lull that we see in fresher hiring this year will mostly be compensated in the financial year or in the latter half of the financial year of 24-25. This year, 2024, is predicted across the globe as a not so good year for the industry. It's making some corrections across. A lot of factors are applying here, not only AI, but other factors are affecting the industry, and such corrections are happening globally, which will lead to limited hiring this year. But what we presume, or what industry experts tell us, is that the latter half of 24-25 will see hiring back on track, and by 25-26 it will almost get leveled to what it was at least 2 years back. What fresher community should be worried about is getting the basic AI knowledge and awareness. Previously, our organized learning used to stop the moment we get the offer letter and we join an organization. Then it is all done by the organization. They train you for what is required to be done there inside the company. But afterwards, our learning slowly depletes, and you limit yourselves to whatever is relevant for your current work. That's going to be changed. Across industries, across levels, ranks and files, people will have to continuously learn. Not only learn, unlearn and relearn always, till you retire from whatever jobs you do. That is going to be the norm ahead. And so, let's not be too much disturbed or worried about the hiring that's going to happen in the colleges, but let us be worried about how you will sustain through your career until you retire and go back to your individual lives. So It will be continuous learning, continuous unlearning and relearning and reskilling always to keep yourself updated in what's happening in the technology area. So that's what's going to happen. This current lull in fresher hiring will slowly go away in the coming years is what is being predicted by industry experts. Thank you.
Thank you. We will quickly take a just.
Yeah, so I'll go quickly. I mean, IBM being a new lab in Kochi, we are grateful to having hiring. So it's not, I understand the sentiments that my peer has shared here, but being a new lab, we are good in hiring, and we had actually hired a lot of freshers through internship programs as well as and early professionals into college. But rephrasing what Suja has just showed, I mean, given the example of Microsoft Copilot, I will take a peer product from IBM side, which is actually IBM Watson Orchestrate. The word means the same, right? I mean, Copilot or Orchestrate, it will help you. So this will only help you automate routine things actually. This job which we'll go, when you are looking for a job opportunity, it is automations and all those things are only possible for things which are very much routine, very much in the sequential way of doing it. But other things where creativity is involved, where talent is involved, those will remain the same. And on a positive note, these skills and talents are not there in laterals that much actually. If you take from a traditional language like Java, or those things are there in the industry for many years. But these things are evolving and the depth that you find in the lateral is very less. So obviously, when we take hiring for talents of these niche skills and so forth, as we look for lateral, we also take juniors or freshers and all those things who are very talented, who can upskill faster and come up to speed, because the depth that we have in the lateral is also very less.
Thank you, George. And before getting into Suja, just considering the time we have in hand, I'll just wind up with one more question on the similar lines with you. Then we'll come to the next question to this panel. So specifically, we have good number of art students here. Okay, in from their standpoint, do we have opportunities for them in the technology industry segment? Just in, so that they will get a fair idea.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, being on the spot, yes, we are hiring, and we at least in that crowd of 2,000 that I mentioned that IBM has gone in the last 2 years, it's at least 600 are freshers. It goes through we went to campuses. We actually also go through hiring tests and cutoffs and all those things. Yes, if it is matching the university hiring standards, we will be happy to do it.
Perfect.
And I'm not the person for it, but I can link you with it.
I mean, just to give them the feel how things will be. And also, if, I mean, you both may just touch upon the practices you have in case they would like to reach out for an opportunity. Maybe something you might have an academy interfacing program, or maybe totally regular job application program. Whatever may be your modes, if you can just share some quick insights on that too.
From getting into as a fresher? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's actually, again, being close to the technology is what we evaluated. I mean, we want people which the professional programming experience and how good they are is what we look in. So, especially from a fresher community or from a college pass outs, or we don't expect them to be scaling or very much into depth and so forth. So how logical, how good they are into the programming language, how they are able to think out of the box, or those design thinkings and all those things. Actually, when you are given a problem, how do you answer to it? Is actually things which we evaluate through the process. And yeah, it's not easy to get into as a freshers, but being if you are actually giving a full heart, it's not that hard as well.
All right, thank you. So coming to Sree Kumar ji also on some of the practices that.
This question leads me to something which is slightly different, off track from here, what we're discussing here. Obviously, ICT Academy is going to help you with the required skill sets to address this peculiar situation that's developing in the coming years. That's going to happen. Because there are going to be courses designed and delivered to you which will equip you to address and compete in the environment that's going to develop. I'll talk about quickly, I'll speak about what's happening in the ecosystem also. I also represent an organization called GTAK. I don't know whether it is correct to talk about this in this forum, but then I always have a selfish interest to tell this everywhere where I meet students. GTAK is an association of technology companies in Kerala, and we have got a platform called GTAK Mu Learn. GTAK Mu Learn is already associated with ICT Academy. We are in agreement with ICT Academy on paper, and we work together. In Mu Learn, you have the opportunity to log into Mu Learn, learn what is of interest for you, and come out successful with a product or a solution at the end of your course. It is not a regular course. It is a fun-filled environment where you gain karma points and you get excited as you move from layer to layer and come out of Mu Learn. Either you will become an entrepreneur or you will be hired by an organization. This is a Mu Learn platform. Go to Mu Learn on internet and you can see the exciting opportunities there. It is all about peer learning with people, with the students, with freshers, with the young community around you. You will automatically learn by yourself, and on Mu Learn you get the exposed to the latest that's happening in skills, learning and technology. So just go to Mu Learn and find out what's in store for you. It will be beneficial. While ICT Academy will continuously be training you on the required skills. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sree, on that. Great. So, perfect. So, team, just two key pointers that you can carry would be, one is Mu Learn, one is ICTAK. So, you are already in line on the track on how to get into industry. So, both these organizations I have worked personally and the students have worked with me personally. So, I have seen the change that they are bringing in, and that there are a lot of non-tech students in the Mu Learn initiative element also. So, specifically those who are from arts, that will be of an interest for you. Then now we are going to this team now. Specifically, we are slightly shifting from the job to the skill now, if in case you have something specific to call. Right, okay. So my question to this panel is specifically on behalf of you is that, considering the adoption of AI, how do you see the shift in the skill demands that you are expecting from the freshers? Likewise, once you expect that skill demand, do you do you made some recent refinements based on whatever you may have observed? Or is it they can very much comfortable with the existing skill, they can adopt to that?
Okay. So I'd like to also touch upon the question that you asked, my colleagues here, because it's an important question, right? Freshers and AI and all of that. But the point is, we don't hire the numbers that probably an IBM and a Tata Elxsi does. But what we hire, we are very particular about the specific skill sets that we need, right? So we hire both technologists as well as functional folks. So for the arts students who are here, who are from commerce and all that, don't give up, don't lose hope.
Art students, give a thumbs up.
Right?
Give a good round of applause. Okay, great.
Yeah,
That's
because the idea is that, for functional, requirements, right? You need someone from a commerce background or an arts background, and then they may upskill or they have already done so. And in this world of AI, right, it's no longer just the technology or the basic BTech or degrees that are going to make you succeed. Whoever is going to, figure out what his or her strengths are, going to start learning, going to be really focused on what the changing trends are, and really work on developing themselves, their skill sets, it's going to be different for them. Because at the end of the day, fresher hiring, especially in AI, IBM probably does that. For the kind of requirements that we need, we go to a little bit more experience, couple of years in the industry who understands. But more importantly, it's just not the degree, because just because you know how to code, we are just not going to bring you in, because it's also the soft skills. I don't know how many of you are listening, but the point I find in Kerala, unfortunately, we have to be very tough on this, because I am I'm a Keralite. I like to see the state do well, right?
Just to
I have-
intervene there and
Yeah.
give the context to this community also. Team, if you remember, that was my next question to this panel since that point came up. If you remember the question that you answered, okay, there was a question whether behavioral skills are
Yeah.
more important than the technical skills or not. Majority said no. Okay.
And that is
So-
very wrong. Let me tell you that, right? No,
No.
actually, they answered correctly because it was a
okay,
double
okay.
yes. So
Oh, you
in
don't
fact,
agree.
they said
Okay, they don't
behavioral
agree.
is important, is what they said,
All
and
right,
which
yeah,
is
stand corrected.
yeah, which is right, which is equally important, I think. And as it goes on, and what is the difference that humans have, or the edge that humans have on AI? Are these kind of behavioral traits, right? Because a machine is always a machine. And the human behind is who's going to decide what is ethical, what is not, what looks at the larger population, looks at different requirements and tells the machine to do. So at the end of the day, that human element is very important, which is why the behavioral sciences, again, coming back to the arts, right? The psychologists, the anthropologists in this group, the artists, all of that is as important. So guys, please don't think that it's only the engineering guys who are going to make it in this world of AI, right? Because all of you are required. But your success depends on how you're going to train yourself, how you're going to upskill yourself, how you're going to right skill yourself, and continuous learning. I cannot stress on that. And soft skills, because I don't know how many of our universities or schools are really putting focus and emphasis on that. Because let me tell you, in an organization, we have to spend, and I'm sure, the IBM, Tata Elxsi, you can agree, we have to spend at least 1.5 to 2.5 lakhs to train a fresher, to what we want them to be, right? A fresher on day one is not productive. So that's the cost to the company, right? So it takes anywhere from 6 months to 1 year for a fresher to start delivering or developing. So that's a lot of training, just, on multiple levels, right? Like in-person trainings, assisted training, self-learning, on-the-job training. All of these skills are very important. But to even get you into that, you are facing a very competitive market. And as we start to really focus our hiring on the best, please remember that, these things are going to be very critical, especially I'm referring to the soft skill side. The questions, your knowledge about the world, what's going on. It's not just your coding skills. Like when we go out and hire, there are multiple levels or rounds that you need to clear. You need to understand what's going on in the world. You need to be able to speak, comprehend. You need to know, how to collaborate in a team. You need to be able to communicate, the art of storytelling. All of these things are important, and unfortunately in Kerala, what I've seen when I was hiring for Nissan, we had a big center here at that time, 550, 200 plus were freshers at that point. But let me tell you, unfortunately, 50 to 60% we were hiring from across India. Why? Not because the kids from, or the engineering freshers from Kerala are any less, but we are not really trained on the soft skills. It takes another 6 months for all of you to be trained. So, but it can be easily reversible. And that is what you need to look at. And I'm glad ICT and, GTAK, you're taking a lot of initiatives to kind of bring in. But it's not just coding skills anymore. It's a comprehensive set of skills. And that is very important.
Right. Thank you, Suja. So, if I may understand, on behalf of them, if summarize. So, technical know-how plus very proficient in the soft skill aspect would drive them to get a job, right? So maybe if you may call out some of the key behavioral traits that you will look at when you hire a fresher, that will be apt for them.
See, one of the important things that we look at is, right, along with aptitude, is attitude. Are you open to learning? Are you open? Are you curious? Do you ask questions, right? If you say something in your life, like, are you able to communicate that intelligently? All of these things are very important for us. So when we are not hiring like lots in numbers, we look at very specific traits. Why? Because these are people, even whether it was Nissan or whether it is Zafin here, this is like in a couple of months, you're going to be working, you're going to be traveling, you're going to be, working with brilliant minds at client sites within our own teams. and you need to be able to communicate, be open to learn, discover. Right now for, interns that we take in, or the fresher batches that we take in, we actually make them work on a demo, on a dummy project. Why? Because we want them to quickly scale up and learn the kind of skill sets that you require when you're actually working on developing a product at a client. And the more important thing is you should also know how to fail fast, recover, and then reset, right? So all of these skills become extremely important. And I don't think any one of us should ever say that we don't have an opportunity to learn, because all of you have smartphones in your hand. And most of these platforms offer a lot of free courses which can equip you, right? So it is very important, and you read, you learn continuously. That's the only message I can give you, because I can't stress on the importance of doing that.
Thank you so much, Suja. So I believe largely it is the attitude plus readiness to adapt is the key for you to get in, I believe, large. So now to you, Kaamna. I'm sure like ICTAK, then even for MuLearn, or even we have recently pulled in a forum, namely HR Evolve, which is also through the help of GTech only, GTech and Nasscom here. So all these forums, when the HR professionals or industry leaders are asked to share what is that students are lacking, I'm sure we will bombard with a lot of points. I'm sure Nasscom will be getting enough bundle of that. So we would like to know what are those skill set that the industry is looking at that you have been exposed with.
Sure. So I will I'll answer in 3 points. First is, as Suja rightly said, that industry takes 6 months to 1 year to train students. So we at Nasscom are working actually to bridge, to make sure that the students are ready to be deployed. So basically from skilling to deployability. And towards this end, we do have a platform called, we are also collaborating with ICT Academy. And similarly to GTech, we have a platform called Future Skills Prime, which offers courses in emerging technologies from industry. That's one. And secondly, we also offer courses in soft skills. So your communication, collaboration, negotiation, creative problem solving, design thinking, which are all the things that industry needs. So do take out time and check out this website. It's free to log in, and it's for all of you to basically get a basic digital literacy, at least in AI. That's one. Second thing is, you said that what is the industry's view? What do the HRs tell us? So what we hear is 2 things which I've heard here. So of course, your soft skills and your technical know-how. And third thing which I'm hearing more and more is domain skills. So for example, as you said, Jithin, that you're a mechanical engineer. Don't lose hope. If you just upskill in tech, then you can, because a person who knows about the, internal combustion engine, you're the better person to talk about it. Person who knows the working can only write code to make it more efficient. If you guys don't have domain knowledge, then it's very difficult for you to actually go out in a non-tech company and give your technical input over there. So we don't need all computer engineers. We do need mechanical engineers. We do need domain-specific skills.
I believe more than the graduation, largely what we are summarizing is the learning agility, whatever it may, whichever stream. For the art students, I think in this panel, the non-engineering background one is Kaamna, I believe, largely. Other than that, all of us have opted engineering or the tech background, but what we are doing now is totally different, because we identified what or might be the area that we would like to build on, and it's adapting. So I believe that is where we are able to run. I'm sure they have already run much ahead, but I'm just sharing my take on that. So any specific, maybe Kaamna, to you on any specific soft skills, maybe if you may call out, let's say, the top 5. These are the set of behavioral skills that ideally students should really focus on, if you may call out something of that than the general.
I think I will call out 2 things. One is communication. If you have great ideas, but you cannot explain it to your team, then your ideas are useless. If you cannot explain the solution to your manager or to your boss, then it's no good having those ideas. And second thing is collaboration, because for any project to be successful, it's always teamwork that counts. And if you are an individual player and a lone wolf, then you may go ahead very fast, but you won't go very far.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And the other point, and I think we mentioned that during this, is that agility, right? You need to think fast. You know, even if you fail, it's okay, but you come recover, but you need to think fast. You need to think on your feet. In fact, that becomes even more because the scenarios are changing so quickly. You don't have time in the world to, take all the time, right? That's
Thank you so much, Suja.